There are moments when life transforms you without your permission. And that's exactly what happened to Melanie when she experienced loss at a very early age. From there, her life continued to take several twists and turns and detours. Some parts of her story you could even relate to.
I could totally relate to. I went through some tragic moments in my past. And I told her, I said, you know what? I thought that I came here to give you something. And ultimately, you're giving me something as well. And what she was giving me is to let me know that I'm not alone. And she walked in a room with all this personality.
Yeah.
I remember not wanting to be around anybody. I remember wanting to be in seclusion. And she literally came in the room, made conversation with made it her duty
Wow.
to have conversation and to bring life into the room. Even though she lost
Yeah.
lives around her, she's still giving life into every single moment that she has.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Excellent. How are you?
Good. You're so pretty.
You are so pretty.
Your daughter is like gorgeous.
She is.
I was like, you're not wearing any makeup. What the heck?
She's like, I just wake up like this.
Right?
Oh my goodness. Your story is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. It's been crazy. The past years have been, oh my God, I don't even know. It's crazy because a lot of people, like, I'm sorry, I'm emotional. I've been praying before I got up here, but I don't know, just a lot of people look at me like the girl in the car accident, like, and I don't even think I shared that, like, story with you guys, but when I wrote in, like, I was like, I don't want to be the girl with the car accident, like, I just want to share something, like, else, like, there's so much more that's, like, happened, and I don't know, it's just crazy. And even in the midst of, like, everything, like, God has just been so faithful in my life, and I love him so much.
You know what? One of the things I had to learn, because I think that was my big thing, is like I just didn't necessarily want to just be known as the teen mom. But I think that when I made that my mission, that I ended up separating myself from a part of my identity. And I had to be willing to embrace that that was a part of my story too. And I think sometimes we feel so much maybe guilt or shame that we don't want to own that part of our story too. But what if you are a wife? What if you are a leader in ministry? What if you are the girl from the accident? And what if you are still all of these? What if that is a part of who you are?
You know, the story's still getting written.
Yeah.
It's just scary sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
One of the sermons that you did that I think I watch like every time something new happens in my life is Everything Must Go.
Yeah.
And I seriously, anytime like I'm going through anything, like I just listen to that sermon and I'm just like I think when like depression tries to creep in, or like anxiety or fears like try to creep in, like it's just like, no, everything must go. So like I'm not gonna allow like that to like kind of take over. And I think because of that, and because of women like you that like who don't even know like the people that you're reaching, like that has really just like allowed me to like go to a different level with Christ. So
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate it. Like crazy.
Tell me your story in your own words.
So I grew up in church. My parents were divorced, but my mom worked like, she's a little hustler. She worked like 3 jobs, so me and my sister can go to a private school, Christian school. So I really feel like since a young age, like God has really like had his like hand over my life, even when I didn't know him. And it's just crazy. My stepdad at the time, like he passed away when I was in 8th grade, and my stepsister, which I think is like my absolute little sister, like I don't even use the word step. We've been together since she was little. That was her real dad. But when he passed, it was either like, okay, we can, stay in the nice neighborhood in the nice house, or we can leave the school and you guys are going to have to go to public school. And for me, I was like so in the bubble, like I didn't even know what MySpace was at the time, and that was like a huge thing when I ended up going to public school in 8th grade. And I was like, what's that? So it was like a culture shock. Yeah. But I think that was just like the beginning of like stepping my like like a foot at the time, like stepping my foot into like what the world really is.
Yeah.
And I got into like some very bad stuff. Like my stepdad, when he was alive, he was very strict. Anytime like someone would call, he would hang up the phone on them. I couldn't do like study groups. I couldn't like pretty much do anything. So to be honest, like I completely rebelled like against my mom when, you know, she was definitely just trying to get by and like give us like, you know, the stuff that we needed. And thank God for her. Like she's amazing. But so in that season, like I started to do really good. I was playing sports and different stuff. And then, out of nowhere, like I started meeting these other girls, and I like started to get into like drugs and alcohol, and I was doing like cocaine by like senior year of high school. I was drinking, and I just like felt dead inside.
Yeah.
Like, how the heck did I get here? Like, I started college and I dropped out, and I was just like, what the heck am I doing with my life? Like, I was dating a guy from junior year of high school till 21 when I got in my car accident, and it was like such a toxic relationship. We were constantly cheating on each other. It was just like, it should have ended, but no one really knew how to say like, hey, it's over.
Right.
So it was just a constant like back and forth with each other. It was horrible. Like it was just horrible. And then like me and my mom got in a fight so bad that she kicked me out, and I had to go live with my uncle. But that was like the turning point, because at that point, like I was on my own, and I had to decide like, okay, I need to get my life together. And people were still coming over and drinking, but this time like I was being responsible, and like I found a job. Like I was going, like I wanted to go back to school, and I was like, okay, like this is time, you know. And so I started working at a grocery store, food for less.
Okay.
And right. And I met this girl named Natasha, and you know, I joke about it today, like she's crazy, but thank God for Tasha, because that girl, like, okay, so we would have to like sweep, and she would like follow me down the aisles with the broom trying to find me to talk about Jesus. And I'm like, girl, leave me alone. Like, because I just, at the time, like, I didn't want to really hear about it, but I thank God for her, because like, I don't know where I would be without her. Like, It's crazy how like someone could just use somebody to like, God knows when he knows, like, no, it's time. Like, you need to come serve me. And so Tasha invited me to church one day, and I didn't feel comfortable going to church, so I went to Bible study with her on a Friday night. I met some of her friends, and then that was kind of it for a couple weeks. She kept inviting me, but I was like, let me just, you know, go mountain speed. Yeah, like, you're a little pushy right now. But a couple weeks after, like, that's when I got in my car accident. Me and my best friend, Diane, we went to a bar, and we were with my friend Jasmine. We ended up dropping her off a little early, and we're like, okay, let's just go back. And so our friend Anthony was like, okay, if you guys come back, like, I'll take you home. So we said, okay, sure. Like, so we go back. It's like 1:00 in the morning. We must have been back in the bar for like 5-10 minutes, and then we got kicked out because one of Anthony's friends were like super intoxicated. I didn't know both of his friends. It was just like one of them is intoxicated. So we go to the car. It's an SUV with 6 seats, and I'm getting in on the driver's side, but the seat all the way in the back. And Anthony was like, hey, scoot over. So I said, okay. So I scoot over. Now I'm like on the passenger row, but all the way in the back. And we start driving, and we reverse, and we hit a parked car. And the security tried to stop our car and was like, you know, stop the car. And the driver's like, not having it, like, no. So we reversed, and we started driving, and as we turned a corner, like, he started hitting all the parked cars, and something inside of me was like, this is gonna end like really bad. Like, I just felt like in my spirit, like, this is gonna end like nasty. And so I put on my seatbelt really fast, and we turned another corner, and we just hit from like 5 to like 95 in like the matter of a minute. He's running all the red lights, and we get to this street, because I grew up in that neighborhood where, you know, it makes a curb. And I remember like yelling at my best friend, like, put your seatbelt. And she was like cussing up a storm, hitting the driver in the back of the head, like just belligerent. And I was like, girl, you need to put on your seatbelt, like, we're gonna crash. And then all of a sudden, like, poof, lights out. And I was like completely, like my eyes, like I can't even explain it. Like lost consciousness. That's what I did. So I lost consciousness, and I just remember like feeling so much heat on my body, and I actually, like, to be honest, like I really thought I was in hell. Like I was like, that's it. Like I'm done. Like there goes my life. I just wasted it. And all of a sudden, like I'm able to like kind of open my eyes, and as I do, like my ears are ringing, and I'm getting pulled out of the car by this random guy who like is dragging me, and the engine's on fire, and he's trying to scream, and all I hear is like ding, like in my ears. And as he's pulling me, like the car's on fire, and it just like poof. And my friend Anthony was still in the car, and he was like screaming at the top of his lungs. He like burned alive, and it was just a really traumatic, like crazy experience. I was taken to the hospital, and I couldn't understand why like they didn't get my friend, because when the explosion happened, like she was laying on the sidewalk, and as it kind of happened, like the guy kind of fell back with me, and I like fell on her, and I was like trying to wake her up, and he's like, come on, like come on, I need to sit you over here for the ambulance. And I was like, no, help her, and like he just would not help her. I found out later that like her head like cracked open, and like she died like instantly. But when I woke up the next morning in the hospital, they were like, hey, an officer was there. Like, it wasn't even my parents. It was an officer, and my parents were outside, and I, like, could see them with a glimpse of my eyes. And the officer's like, did you know that, like, there was a gun in the car that you were in, and it was involved in, like, a murder? And I was like, what? No, like, I swear I did not know. Like, I only knew one person, and, like, unfortunately he died. And the officer was like, you know, you're very lucky to be alive. There's only another person that's alive. The other one has severe brain damage, and they don't know if he's going to live. I would take, like, your second chance very serious. Yeah. And I think that was, like, the turning point for me. And I was still, like, but the girl, Natasha, she actually showed up at the hospital with her husband, and I don't know. I didn't know where I would be without her. Like, amazing woman of God. And she showed up and prayed with my parents and asked me if I wanted to accept God, and that was like it. And I was like, yes, like, let's do it, girl. You sold me. You don't have to chase me down the aisles anymore. Like, you're good. Yeah. We're friends. So yeah, and it was crazy because, you know, all the people that I partied with and everything, like, no one showed up. Like, nobody. And I don't know, I just felt like the whole time, like, God was like, I told you, like, this is where you're supposed to be. And after that, like, I started serving, and the first year and a half was really, like, a struggle. And, you know, I was so depressed because I kept asking God, like, why me? Like, I'm a sinner. Like, why would you save me? Like, you've seen my life. You've seen what I've been through. Like, that's insane. Like, I'm not worth it. Like, you should have picked somebody else. But the whole time, like, I don't know. God was just like, no, like, you're it. Like, you're who I'm calling. And so once, like, I, you know, sought counseling and got out of depression, I stopped drinking. And it was a big wake-up call because I started ministry really early in church. And my pastor sat down with me, and she's so wise, and she was just like, I know you're in sin, and I know you're struggling, and I love you so much, and God disciplines the one he loves, and I have to kick you out of ministry. And I was like, oh my God, like, this is all I have. Like, I need this. And she's like, I'm sorry, like, I have to teach you. And I just remember, like, her sending me scripture. Like, it wasn't like she sat me down and then, like, just let me go. Like, it was, like, a constant, like, hey, how are you? My leader is like, hey, how are you? I remember one time, she's my assistant pastor now, but she was my Bible study leader at the time. And one time I got so wasted, I didn't go to church. And she came to my door Sunday morning and was just banging on it. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? So I opened it, and like she just barged in, like she was like, "This is my house." Like, it felt so comfortable, and she's like, "What are you doing? Like, what are you doing?" And I felt like because of those women that were just like so raw and real, like those are the women that like have helped me stay saved. And I thank God for women like that, and like women like you who like just keep going, like, and because like I've seen women like that in my life, and you know, on TV and YouTube and just different stuff, like it's really helped me to just keep going myself. And after the accident, like I got back into ministry. I met my amazing husband, who I absolutely love. Seriously, I'm just like, how the hell did I get so lucky? Like, I went from like that cheating relationship to like this guy.
I can understand.
Yes,
I
right. So I'm just like, man, God, like you got everything down to the T. Even the stuff I didn't think I needed, like this guy has.
Right,
and I'm just
right.
like, that's crazy. Like, wow. But yeah, so after that, like the first year of marriage, like my husband and I, we lived in a house with like no water, and like just very like embarrassed to like ask the church for help. And the first year of marriage was really hard, like learning how to be a wife, and just like learning to love somebody else was like really difficult. I was like, you better put that towel in where it goes, like, or hang it. Like, they stink. What's wrong with you? Just learning like to do the wife stuff, and you know, going through arguments and going through like infidelity, and really like allowing God to just learn, like teach me how to trust him again.
You said something while you were speaking that I think God is really doing in your life. And you talked about these real, raw women in ministry and how they came and chased you down. And I think part of the reason why you had to go through all of the things that you went through, every last thing, is so that you could become one of those real, raw women that knows how to go and get another woman. And it's a catch-22 because sometimes we end up resenting the fact that we had to go through certain things, but it is exactly the fact that we went through them that qualifies us to reach another woman.
Yeah.
And you don't become real and raw by accident. You become real and raw by accidents, by trial, by error, by messing up, but discovering that there was life after that. And I don't think there's anything more dangerous than a woman who learns that she can survive. Because when a woman learns that she can survive, she pulls other women into surviving and then thriving as well. And so I think it's really important that you're here at this season of your life. And I feel this for you so strongly, that there is a weightier version of who you are that God is trying to release in your spirit. That you would realize that you didn't just go through these random things that were coincidences, and you didn't just have these moments so that you could just kind of be breezy and light and airy, but those things gave you weight. And when you have weight, you have authority. And when you have authority, you can help other women who are in bondage, in depression, struggling with alcohol. The only thing stronger than that is anointing. The only thing stronger than that is authority. And so all of these things that are collecting in your life, surviving chemo, having to say goodbye to your stepfather, all of these things, they weren't just these little nicks and bruises. They were adding weight to you so that you can walk into these areas, these bars, these clubs, these youth ministries, and have something that is stronger than what they're dealing with. And not everyone is called to that, because not everyone has enough weight to cut through what they're going through. And I think that as you step into that and embrace that weight, that you're going to recognize a power and anointing and a strength that you saw all along the way in those real, raw women.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's going to change your marriage. It's going to change your ministry. It's going to change the way you look in the mirror. You're going to look at your scars and you say, that scar gave me weight. That girl in the car accident, she went into the car, a girl, she came out a woman. Because life threw some things at her. That means she couldn't go back to being a little girl. She had to turn into a woman. And this woman sometimes has to tell the little girl inside of me that we're a woman now. We don't think the way that we used to think. We don't let our emotions control us the way that we used to. We're a woman now. We didn't just go through these things to shrink back into this little girl who's afraid and insecure and doesn't use her voice and doesn't write the book and doesn't stand up in ministry when she knows God has something for her to say. That's what that little girl would do. But that girl, that woman, did not survive that car accident to not release everything that God placed down on the inside of her. And I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like there are some things on the inside of you that you know are on the inside of you, but because it may be feeling inadequate or maybe not feeling like I don't have the proper speech or I don't know how I can do it, I'm just going to keep that on the inside and not release it. But you did not survive what you have survived to keep that on the inside. The reason why you were in that car has to do with what's on the inside of you that must be released into the earth. And so God has allowed these different circumstances and these different situations not to hurt you, not to scare you, not to make you afraid, but to force you in a position where you got down to nothing and said, like you did in the hospital to Natasha, here I am. I surrender. And that theme of surrendering, you have to do day after day and season after season to manifest that next glory, that next level of glory. So you had one level of glory in the hospital. That was the surrender. God, you got me. Listen, you finally got me. You have to have a level of surrender in your marriage. God, we want to have a healthy marriage. I can't repeat that thing that I've already gone to. And I think you're walking into another level of surrender. Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, definitely. It's so funny because so the name of our youth ministry is actually Thrive.
Okay.
So that's boom. But raw and real, like because of all the raw and realness that like God's really like allowed me to see with so many different women, it's a book that I've always wanted to write, and I would be lying if I said I felt qualified, because I don't. Yeah. And I definitely know like that's, a spirit of fear and a lie from the enemy. But that's something like I've always wanted to do, especially just knowing that like how much I've been through and like to see like that God's like brought me out of it like every single time. And like I look at my life and like if I didn't have God, like there's been so many times like right after the accident where I wanted to commit suicide and I was just like, this is so dumb. Like how am I alive? Like that was like a long question for a really long time. Like why me?
Yeah.
And because of the why me, it turned into like a season of depression, a season of like wanting to be like dead.
Yeah.
Like and like God, you should have chose somebody else because like I can't do it. And I think once I stepped past that season of like, okay, you can stay safe, like living the Christian life, like it's not bad, it's actually really fun, you know. Once I got past that, then it was like the lies of like, okay, well, yeah, you're here, but you really can't live your full potential. And that kind of scares me a lot of times, like just knowing that like there could be more, but like scared to actually go there with the Lord. And I definitely know like that's been like my struggle over the past couple of years, is like God's trying to take me to like a deeper level, but I'm scared to go to that deeper level.
We don't do scared anymore. I tell myself, because, I've gone through some things in my life. And one of the things that I constantly tell myself is I am already further ahead than I ever thought I would be. Like the fact that I don't struggle with my story anymore, the fact that I get up and speak in spite of the fact that I, have a legitimate fear of public speaking, the fact that
Can't even tell.
It's there. It is there. I have to tell myself like we're doing what God said we're going to do, so we don't have time to be afraid.
Yeah.
But when you come to a place where you realize like I have already exceeded my expectations, when we talk about exceedingly and abundantly. So like if I write the book, I really can't lose.
Yeah.
I really can't lose because I never even thought that I would come to a place where I really loved God, where I would be thanking God that Natasha was chasing me down a store aisle. I never thought I would be here. And so God has already moved me further than I ever thought I would be. So if I take one more step, I really can't lose because I've already won. And I think that's the mindset of victory that you have to function in when you end up saying, I surrender. Because I am surrendering from the standpoint that my last surrender pushed me into a dimension I never thought I would be in. Yeah. So if I don't go any further than this, I've already won. If Woman Evolve shuts down today and I don't speak anymore and my husband and I are working at Target and me and our 6 kids are living in an apartment, it was one heck of a ride because God already pushed me further than I ever thought I would be.
Yeah.
And I think that you can live in that space with your story and testimony. I'm not even supposed to be here. The fact that I'm alive means that I'm further along than I should have been. So what's opening up the laptop and starting a chapter? And then you just keep on listening to that voice. And you recognize that that voice was trying to show you who you are all along.
Thank you.
I need your story. I need your story in this world. I need you to share it, the beautiful parts, the ugly parts, the girl in the accident, the girl who struggled with alcohol, the girl who found a way in ministry. I need your story. I need it for my daughter. I need it for the women who are connected to my ministry because I only have one story. And my story may reach a lot of people, but our story could reach way more. And when every woman stands up and takes ownership of who she is, she teaches another woman not to be afraid of who she is anymore either. And imagine how radically different women in this world and young girls would be if one woman just said, I know where you've been and you can do better than that. You can do better than that. Imagine, you know who you need to write the book for? The girl you were in middle school. Write the book for her. She hasn't had a drink. She hasn't been in a car accident. Take it even further back. Her stepfather hasn't died. Her life hasn't changed. And she's about to embark on something that's going to radically change everything she knows about life. What would you say to her? Because that girl exists.
Yeah.
And we're all just one phone call, one car ride away from our life radically changing. But you can put something in the atmosphere that pushes back darkness before somebody even reaches it. Or pushes back a darkness that someone is in. Someone can look at my story and say, yeah, she got pregnant at an early age. Yeah, she did this. Yeah, she was in that abusive relationship. But she doesn't know what it's like to be in a car and be the only one who survived. She doesn't know what it's like to struggle with suicidal thoughts. Who's going to connect to her?
Yeah.
You are.
I'm really grateful for like women like you who have like really never stopped like loving God even when like it gets hard. And I'm sure like, you know, arguments in marriage and like kids not listening and different stuff comes up. But like, it's just amazing that like, to look at you and like you've never given up, like, and I know I can imagine your schedule's like go but like just to like find peace and all that, like it's just amazing. It's like really amazing to see, and like I'm just so grateful.
You said something and I'm going to challenge your thought. I don't think it's that I never gave up. I think it's that I always got back up.
Yeah.
And I think there's a difference because I think that you see something in me that exists in you. You just don't know what it is. And that's what it is. I always got back up.
My pastor says that about me all the time.
Yeah.
She's like, you're a great fighter, Melanie.
Yeah.
I'm like, thank you.
And it's not, I didn't even think that I was fighting. I just was like, well, can't do this anymore. But that was my way of fighting.
Yeah.
And I like that. It's not that I never gave up. It's that I always got back up. And you've always gotten back up.
Yeah.
So you have your laptop?
I do have a laptop. I actually already started.
Okay, the book has started?
Yeah, I just haven't finished. I'm like on chapter 1.
Okay, chapter 1's a good start.
It's been on chapter 1 for like 3 years.
That's not good. Chapter 1's a good start. 3 years is not a good start.
Right.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I need you to finish your book, and let's put a plan to this, okay? So you're going to finish your book. I'm going to buy the first 100 copies of your book, okay? And I am going to give your books to Women on Woman Evolve to remind them to evolve. And I'm also going to donate them. My mom has a program in Dallas that helps to mentor young adult women. I'm going to give some to them. I also I need you to write this book, okay? There's an organization in Dallas called Restored Hope, and it's all about women who have gone through all of these different things, from sex trafficking to rape to just a lot of different things, but they're in this program where they can restore their hope and begin to dream again. And I think they could use your book as well. So I got 100 copies on it.
Thank you so much.
The moment you email us and you tell us it's gone to print, it's at Amazon or it's wherever, you tell us, and I got 100 copies. And I have places that book needs to go. So I need you to write the book.
I will do.
And
Thank you
we
so
can't
much.
take 3 years for a chapter.
I got you. Got you, girl.
Okay? I love you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you.
Melanie said something that instantly stood out in my mind. She said that one of the things that she admired about the women in her church and who had been a part of her life, and even women like me, were that they were raw, real women. And it hit me that she's one of those raw, real women. And I'm thinking to myself, all of those things that you went through that hurt you, that you kind of want to push away from your identity, are exactly the things that made you a raw, real woman.
And that's what we want to see when it comes to her wardrobe.
Yeah.
We want it to be raw and real. Even when she walked in the room, she gave you raw and real. She never, sometimes people walk in a room and they try to be something else, or they see, because I'm a celebrity stylist or because this person's a celebrity makeup artist, they become someone else.
Yeah.
There was no fronting with her, okay? She walked in the room and she was like, this is me, okay? Do what you want to do. I'm just excited to be here. I'm just excited to be here. That's all she kept saying. I'm just excited to be here. And so seeing her excited about life made me excited, even more excited about life and what we're bringing to the table for her. All right, so our next one is Melanie.
Yes.
All right, so tell me about Melanie. I can see a lot. I've seen a lot of different personalities through the photos and going through social media. Now, one thing that I did notice is that on Melanie's social media is that there was not one shot of her by herself.
Okay.
There was not one shot by herself. Every single photo was of Melanie and someone else, which sometimes kind of shows us a little bit about the person. Like, are they really afraid of being by themselves? Do they not want to show themselves through social media that way? Or are they just unselfish people? You just never know what that actually is. So I'll let you tell me about it.
Okay. So Melanie was in a car accident with her friends, and she was the only person who survived.
Wow.
And this car accident was the culmination of alcohol, cocaine, just this crazy life that she was living. She got into this car accident. It radically changed her life. Started working at this grocery store, and this lady was chasing her down, telling her about Jesus. And then, like, little by little, her life began to change. Melanie said something to me that she likes women like me and women who she has met in church because they're just like raw, real women. They tell their truth, they tell their story. But she also told me, I just want to be someone other than the girl who was in the car accident. And so I told her, what makes you a raw, real woman is that you were the girl who was in the car accident. You're the girl who was on cocaine. That we didn't just become raw, real women. Life was raw and real with us, and we decided to get raw and real with life. And I think that she has shrunk down to this, just like, if someone knew what I went through, they'd look at me differently, or I wish I wasn't this person anymore. But on the same hand, she's like very smiley.
Yes.
She's very excitable. She's very happy and passionate. And so I think that her personality and her purpose need to come into alignment. And so I challenge her to, like, basically get your weight up. Like, you have gone through too many things to be like just tossed to and fro when things happen. Those things gave you weight, they gave you dimension, and you need to throw that at life.
All of that literally explains her social media page now. I literally know exactly why she doesn't want to be alone. When you lose people like that, you're afraid of being alone. So it just shows up in her life, you know, via social media. I was once in a car accident, and I was one of the survivors on the side of the road, and I had to wait and watch on ambulances and people passing by to come. I had to wait maybe 2 hours with the young lady who passed away in the car accident with me. So I went back to my room, and I feared of being alone. I feared of driving. I feared of doing all these things for so long. Like, I wouldn't even drive a car. I had to have my mom with me driving, or a friend or someone driving, because I just didn't want to be alone.
That's when I tell you, so they had the car accident, the engine catches on fire. The person, Anthony, who was driving, was still alive. She could hear him yelling and screaming while he burned alive. Then she had her friend who was just laying on the sidewalk, and people were helping her. And she was like, help my friend, help my friend. She doesn't know that her friend's head has been cracked open.
Wow.
So, like, trauma.
Such an identical story, though. So crazy.
I know.
That I had to deal with sort of the same thing, sitting on the side of the road and begging someone that's trying to help me to help that person, and not realizing that person head had been cracked.
Yeah.
Oh, like, brain had been cracked.
You have
open.
to tell her that. Because the thing about pain is that pain isolates you and makes you feel like I'm the only person who's ever gone through this. And I told her, there's someone who's the lone survivor of a car crash. There's someone who knows what it's like to have been on cocaine, who needs to hear
And
your
the survivor
story.
in those situations are normally the ones who are accused of it happening. Like, you know what happened.
Yeah.
Tell us exactly what happened. You get ridiculed for so long, so then you really kind of go into this place of, I don't want to be around a lot of people. I just want to be around one or two people that I know can protect me and that I know that love me.
Yeah.
And you take it from there. So we're gonna have an awesome time talking to her tomorrow, so she knows that you're not alone.
Yes, that's
your
what she
raw,
needs
real
to know.
story needs to be told.
And now she's like in youth ministry, and so she's
That's
trying
so
to like
good.
find her thing.
Melanie, you don't know what you stepped into, girl. So with Melanie, I noticed that Melanie does not normally do a lot of dresses, a lot of A-line things, but I think that we're going to go into things that actually make her look like this vibrant girl.
Yeah.
Her smile screams vibrant.
She's very vibrant.
You know what I mean?
She's
Like, you
very
can tell
vibrant.
through the photos, she's a chipper person, right? And even the people that are on the photos with her are normally chipper too, so she keeps her surroundings like that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna surround her with nothing but crazy prints and great textures, A-line things, things that may show a little bit of leg. We're gonna show her also how to have just casual style. Just have a good casual style. You don't have to be this over glamorous girl to live your everyday and being fabulous. Like, there's easy ways of doing that. So
Now she told us she's going on a date night with her husband after this, so she is like really
say
looking.
no more.
Yeah.
we will leave. We will let you leave here showing a little leg for your man, Melanie.
Yes.
So we'll give her sex appeal. We'll
Yes.
definitely do it. We'll show her how to be sexy without having to show it all.
Yeah, I love that. I love
Most
it.
women get that kind of mixed up. They don't know how to be sexy, how to be saved,
Yeah.
and still date,
Right.
and how to not show it all. There's a way of doing that. So we're gonna show her a few ways.
She needs that too, because it's gonna like she needs to feel like a woman.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
show her how to smile too.
Yes.
When you're sitting across from your man and you're eating dinner,
Yes.
you need to smile.
Yes. Ooh, and J Bolin
That's
is
it.
the smiles king.
Well, you know, I try. I'm not the smiles
Got
king, but I do try. So that's gonna be fun. All right. So we're gonna go with edgy and modern hair for her,
Okay.
right? I noticed that her hair is always down. It's normally in the center part. So we're gonna try to pull some things off her face. A lot of women try to bring their hair forward because they're kind of like hiding behind something, or they don't really want to show their facial structure, or they feel like maybe I've gained a little weight. You know what I mean? Maybe is my face deserving of being seen? And she's so gorgeous. I can't wait to see her ears. I can't wait to see her chin line. And so we're gonna pull her hair back and make some really cool, fun ponytail moments.
Okay.
And I think she's gonna love it. It's going to
Okay.
be a little bit of a challenge. She may be uncomfortable doing it initially.
She did tell me that she's got some insecurity. She's got alopecia, which was
Yeah.
a part of the cartoon. But I was like, girl, they never
We'll show
wig or
you.
some weaves.
Listen, between wigs and weaves, honey,
Hair
your life
fibers,
will
you're
never,
fine.
your hair will never be the same. Okay, and I'll share a lot of stories with her on alopecia. We have so much in common. Alopecia in my family, we have so much. But baby girl,
Listen.
you can get hats, you can get anything you
Things
want
can
to look
happen
fabulous.
for you.
Yeah, things
Yes.
can happen. And so when it comes to makeup, we're gonna go with a natural glow, and we'll have the makeup artist to just kind of show her how to put on a neutral lip in the daytime, and how to put on like a chocolate eyeliner, things that will kind of give some definition to her eyes and to her lips and to her cheekbones, and send her on her way.
Great.